Untitled Podcast.
What's up, everybody? It's Ola, aka ChalkOne from Battlefield Podcast. In this video, I want to show you a quick comparison between the way the server browsers differ in Battlefield 3 from the PC to the consoles. I found it fairly interesting when I made the addition from PC to playing on the PS3 and the Xbox, just how different the experience of finding and joining a server was. So I'm not going to talk too much about how you're actually going to join a server, but I'm talking more about how to filter and find what you're looking for. On the consoles first, we're looking right now at the Xbox. So obviously you've got the multiplayer tab here, and one of the things that stands out right away, I just want to focus on this real quick, is this My Server setting. Now, it's really nice because on the Xbox you can rent servers for 1 day, 7 days, 30 days. So it's a lot easier to actually get a server for yourself and your buddies to play on, which is a really a feature that I miss on the PC. You know, on the PC you got to deal with third-party companies, and it's just a whole big process, whereas here you just say, hey, I want to rent a server for, you know, any of these options here, and you pay with Microsoft points, or, you know, on the PS3 you pay with actual money if you have a credit card saved on PSN or whatever. So that's really quite nice and convenient, which probably also explains why so many kids are running servers these days on consoles. But under My Servers, this is where you can see the servers that you've rented or the servers that you're admin on, which is nice. As you can see, I'm the administrator on the official Battlefield Podcast server that's run by Addison over in the UK. So that shows up here. From here I can manage the server, I can look at who's playing on it right now, I can change the setup, the map rotations, all these kind of things, which took me a little while to figure out how to first make it work, but it's kind of nice because you can set up these different presets on how to configure the server, the map rotations. You can create custom ones. It's pretty nice. And of course you can manage players. See the list of admins here, VIP list, who's banned, all that kind of stuff. But let's talk about how you're actually going to go find a server. Let's assume for a minute that you're not just going to join on a friend, because obviously if you're going to join on a friend, that's pretty easy and straightforward. But you're actually going to look for a server, whether it's just for yourself or for your party to play in. Under Server Browser, you got all these tabs which are convenient. You start off on the Browse tab, which is basically just a list of all the servers that match the filter settings that you have enabled at the moment. We'll get back to that in a second. You got the Friends tab, which is really convenient because it shows you where your friends are playing as well. So if I can see, apparently someone on my friends list is playing on the server, and it should tell me at the top somewhere here, I believe it's Alchemist that's on my friends list who's playing on the server. So that's also a good way to just see where your buddies are playing, especially if you have a large friends list and maybe, you know, you're not going to be playing with them all in the party and whatnot. History tab's nice as well. It shows you where you've been. You can obviously favorite servers, they'll show up in here. And searching and browsing. So if you hit the right stick, you get to the filter setting, which is a little different from the, well, it's actually very different from how you do it on the PC side. First of all, you don't get to choose the expansion mode or the DLC mode. You actually have to filter these by map. So if I wanted to just play Aftermath, I'd have to make sure that I'm only selecting Aftermath maps, as you can see, like so. You got the game modes, player lists, and the presets, which are pretty straightforward, ranked obviously, and then the region for where the server's in. Once you do that, it applies those filters to this list, and from here on basically you just scroll through. Can't really sort this in any way, which is a little annoying, but let's say you find a server here, you select it, and it gives you more details, and this I really like. I really like this. I think it's really lacking on the PC. But seeing all these options here, first of all, it tells you preset normal, so you can already kind of remember what that is. But for example, Gunmaster Weapons preset, this is something when I talk about the PC server browser, I don't think you have that ability to see that anywhere at all. So you see quite a bit of details here as far as what the settings of the server are, including the percentage of tickets and all that stuff, obviously. Map rotation, also really nice and easy. You can see very quickly here which map rotations are coming up, and you can kind of get an idea of whether you want to join this server based on that. And again, the friends list if anyone's playing on it. So I think it's pretty straightforward. I like some of the features. It's not as, you know, find it more difficult to search for server names, but I guess that's just me because you got to use the damn Xbox keyboard and all that stuff. But that's just the way it is on the console, I guess. Overall, I think the server browser is nice. I like the fact that you can join on your friends, and you know, the filter settings are not super intuitive, and there probably could be more of them. I'm never quite sure why they limited it to so few, but it does work. and I do enjoy the fact that before you join a server, you can get a fair amount of details as far as rotation and the server setup and all that stuff, as well as who owns the server, which is really important when you're dealing with badmins. So that's it for the consoles. Let's talk about the PC. Okay, so now it's time to take a look at the server browser that we're used to on the PC side for Battlefield 3. Obviously, this is Battlelog. Everything gets launched through Battlelog. I mean, you can launch the game, but you can't join any servers or anything like that from the game directly. So it's all under server browser here in the menu, and it's a little bit different from the console. So you have your standard filters here. You've got the game types, which is kind of a nice thing because you don't have to filter by map, but you can if you want. Here's all the maps that you can filter by. Region filters, similar to the console. Obviously, you can filter by server name, the different presets. Note that there's, once again, no filter for Gunmaster settings, not even under these advanced settings here. You can get fairly detailed here as far as what settings you want, ticket count, all that kind of stuff. So you can get really in depth. I never use this myself. But it's there for people that want to use it. Game size, this is a pretty important one. Usually we use this quite a bit to figure out what kind of games we want to get into, and then obviously the game mode. I like this free slot server as well because it gives you the ability to find games that aren't, not only are they not empty or full, but they're also not, you know, too crowded or too little players in them. Like a lot of times I'll have it on 1 to 5 slots free if I'm going to go in with 2 or 3 people, because we want to find a full server that's got a good game going, but we want to make sure we all fit in as well. So you have the results of the servers down here once you've filtered. There's not a whole lot of detail for the servers. You can click on server name and you get all this stuff here, but this is what I mentioned earlier. It doesn't show you the Gunmaster preset. I realize this is a team deathmatch server, but even if it was a Gunmaster one, it doesn't show you what preset it's running on. So you really kind of are just left to your own devices. Unless I'm wrong, and if I am, please someone point it out to me, but I have not found it anywhere. So you can see some settings here with the scoreboard. This is something that they've added a while ago, so you get an idea of where the round's at the moment. Like if we look at this one here, for example, you can kind of get an idea of whether or not the game is really lopsided or not. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you can add them to your favorites, and then you have, you know, your list of favorite servers here. You've got your history, but it's pretty basic. Now, for those of us that play on PC, there are some options to extend this. So, for example, if I'm going to look at my extensions here, I like to use this add-on for Chrome. I believe it's also available for Firefox, called Better Battlelog. It's also Battlelog Plus that I used to use, but I think, and at least the last time I used them both together, I was having some issues. So Better Battlelog does a few things which are kind of nice. If you enable that and you look in your server browser, not only does it allow you to save filters, I find this quite useful because I'll have, you know, air maps or aftermath filters saved, which is kind of nice. It just saves you having to click all these things again. It shows you the players that are in each server right there. It's not really sorted in any kind of spectacular way or anything, but it is a little bit helpful. And I believe that, yes, when you click on here, you can get some more detail as well about the server and the scoreboard in general. So I find that useful. Better Battlelog has many other features that help. You can see add to radar and things like that. I won't go into that, but you should definitely check it out if you're on PC and you're not using it. It's definitely good, but you know, those are some of the differences between the server browsers. I think they both have benefits and drawbacks between the console. I wish that they'd take the best of both and put it on both systems, but I don't think we'll see that happening. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.